And so we've talked about aldehydes and ketones, in particular ketones like propanone, which has the common name of acetone, typical solvent that you might use to thin paint or remove nail polish. Other solvents, sometimes you might use alcohols to dissolve non-polar things because you can't remove them with water, and you can't remove them with soap. Often if you've got if you've got oil on your hands, you might use gasoline as a solvent because gasoline is non-polar. You have to be careful when you're using organic solvents. Because they're non-polar, that means that they have very low boiling points. That means that you have an organic vapor in the air at room temperature or often below, and that organic solvent that's evaporated into the air can combine with oxygen and burn. And so you have to be very careful when you're dealing with solvents to make sure that the vapors aren't able to ignite. You can do that by thinning them out, by ventilating things, or you can do that best by capping off the container, making sure it's closed, making sure it's away from any area that might get a spark. Okay, so non-polar, low boiling point. Flash point of gasoline is actually minus 40 degrees Celsius. And so you can actually get enough gasoline vapors in the air that at minus 40 they will ignite. And so these are flammable liquids. The second type are combustible liquids, and so diesel fuel is a good example of a combustible liquid. Requires higher temperatures in order to burn. So this is a higher temperature combustion. The last thing to consider is what's known as spontaneous combustion. And so if you're treating furniture, for example, with linseed oil is another example of an organic, not usually a solvent, but it's a non-polar compound that contains carbon. It can actually spontaneously combine with oxygen in the air, create enough heat that if you get done polishing your furniture with linseed oil and then throw the rag into a bucket, you can actually generate enough heat to light that bucket of rags on fire, and you can burn down your house or potentially even the school that you're in.